highway, your boy's about to swing by. Is there anything beside me that you want me to bring by? Miss I put the pedal to the floor, cause I miss how you put the kitty caddy on the boy. I pull up to the driveway. The girl call me Usher when I put it down, cause she like it my way. Rubbers in the pocket, you ain't even gotta talk though. Your body's been calling me from way behind that locked door. Legs are on my waist, cuddling, calling me Teddy. But tonight I'm feeling grizzly, throwing her on the beddy. I'm about to make this dirty birdie my caddy, stroking it steady, loving how she calling me daddy. Because when I get that feeling, I want it. Cheers. Hey, because when I get that feeling, I want that. Listen, I am the king of the jungle, you know the rest, ma. Posturepedic, when you want the chest, ma. Yes, ma. Let me help you out of the dress, ma. I know you need a pump, cause you got that ass, ma. Pardon the boy, betonze kuhlekisa, not to annoy. Ngiyakudlalisa, sweetie, so make me your toy. Ngifuna kube mnanzi, sithi enjoy. Sisu jump in my fence just to see me. Vumelani banfana betegi me. My sex game is tribal, wild safari, all day and all night. I'm Katali, I'll tear that ass up until you pass out. Utogati got the vibe, bangibita nga Mufasa. Predator, scratch, scream if you wanna, cause you know li bubesi li figilem twana. Cause when I get that feeling, I want that. Cheers. Because when I get that feeling, I want that. Hey yo, NKO, talk to her. He said when he get that feeling, he want that. Hey, yo, Zealand, talk to her. Cheer. Okay. When I get that feeling, I want that. Listen, one more time. Hey, because when I get that feeling, I want. On the highway, your boy's about to swing by. Is there anything beside me that you want me to bring by? Miss I put the pedal to the floor, cause I miss how you put the kitty caddy on the boy. I pull up to the driveway. The girl call me Usher when I put it down, cause she like it my way. Rubbers in the pocket, you ain't even gotta talk though. Your body's been calling me from way behind that locked door. Legs are on my waist, cuddling, calling me
And partners, we're here today to launch the 2021 Earth Hour commemoration. We have been holding the Earth Hour commemoration for a number of years in the country, over 10 years to be specific. Today we're inviting you to join us today for the 2021 launch, which we are holding virtually. If you're on our Facebook page, the Eswatini Electricity Company, you are able to see the live broadcast that we have. We've also set up a Zoom link, which you can find on our Facebook page, where you can join us. We'll appreciate to get your comments on this launch as we proceed on the day's activities. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a list of very important people next to me that have joined us for the launch. These are part of the partners of the Earth Hour commemoration. We have the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy, who is our guest speaker today. We also have officials from GALP Eswatini who are part of our partners. We'll be hearing some of the insights from that company on how what efforts do they have, or what activities do they do in relation to ensuring ecological sustainability in the country. We also have officials from the Meteorological Department. We all know, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, that we have had a number of activities that have an impact on the environment, and especially on the changes on the climate. So we'll be hearing a bit of insights from the Meteorological Department. Obviously, we also have partners from the Eswatini Environmental Authority, as well as Housing Board, who are part of our partners, especially in the housing sector. We won't take much of your time on this program because we fully understand the effects of COVID and the limitations and guidelines that we have. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kaya Mavuso. I am in the Eswatini Electricity Company in the Marketing and Corporate Communications Department. I'll be coordinating your proceedings today. If you've joined us, welcome, viewer. Please join us on the launch of the 2021 Earth Hour commemoration. As we start our program, I will request the General Manager, Support Services from Eswatini Electricity Company to be the first to welcome us and give us a few remarks. Let us welcome Mr. Mkonda. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Program Director, representative of the Minister for Natural Resources and Energy under the Government of the Kingdom of Swaziland, distinguished guest from GALP and all our partners, Mondelez, Meteorological Services, and others, just to name the few. Thank you very much. The Earth Hour is a very important event that the Eswatini Electricity Company started commemorating in 2011 at the then Swaziland Pension Fund building. Over the years, we have seen an increase of over 1,000 people participating during the event. And the latest that we have seen in 2020, we had achieved a savings of about 20 megawatts. This has been a phenomenal achievement for the event, which started meeting and exceeding its targets in 2015. Now, the history of the Earth Hour has been a good one for the Kingdom of Eswatini. And we are grateful that the Eswatini Electricity Company has been leading this and has partnered with quite a number of companies as well. We have had different themes over the years, and just to mention a few themes, we had Cisha Lo Gesi, which was very quite popular, and for some reasons everybody knows that why that event became so popular. And Cisha Lo Gesi, I must say that it took the Earth Hour to a different level altogether. In 2019, we had Connect to Earth as the theme for the event. And this year, our theme is Connect to Earth and let's action. And it is important because we have seen recent events which are related to climate change. In recent times, we've had Eloise, which had an impact on our infrastructure, and we are experiencing increase in temperatures in this last few days as well. We've also seen in 2017, 2016 a drought phenomenon across the world. It's important that this event is held on an annual basis so that we can resuscitate our thinking towards protecting the environment in whatever activities that we have. Now, this year, we also want to acknowledge that the event is going to be held on a virtual platform because of the declared COVID-19 pandemic, and we are operating under those regulations. But the one thing that excites me most is that there is nothing that beats the desire to survive by the human species. And if you recall, we have been hit by many pandemics before, but the human beings prevailed after that. And we believe that even this time, with the virtual platforms, we should be able to continue with the hosting of the Earth Hour. Now, the Eswatini Electricity Company is embarking on various projects and initiatives that will enhance the Earth Hour. One of the issues that we want to venture into is the distribution of solar lamps, the installation of sensors and LEDs at the head office, the initiative on energy and water audits within the EEC, so that we can measure how much water we use and how much energy we use, and to what extent that impacts our planet. We have also been doing various solar projects, and I'm happy to say that the Eswatini Electricity Company has successfully completed a 10 megawatt solar power plant in Lavomisa and a 36 kilowatt plant in a mini grid at Sikbileni, which provides electricity for the community there. We've also been involved in Patsasa Kongwane, so that we have a wider range of activities other than just focusing on energy. Now, the Earth Hour roadmap for this year starts today with the launch of the Earth Hour. I say it starts today because this is the official day when we launch it, but there is a team that has been working towards this event, so there have been a lot of preparations behind the scene. Between today and the 27th, which is the day of the Earth Hour, we shall be embarking on a social media campaign to increase awareness of all the population sectors on this event, and also not just on this event, but on our activities in general, that they should contribute towards the preservation of the planet. We will be holding a webinar on the 24th of March, in which there will be quite a number of participants that will make presentations on that webinar. So that will be an interactive event, so people will be in a position to ask questions and receive responses as well. Then on the 27th, which is the day of the Earth Hour, we shall request all our consumers to switch off those appliances that or activities that are not necessary during that hour, so that we can measure how much we can save on energy. Remember, saving on electricity saves on the input energies that or input resources that we use to generate that energy. And you should be aware that most of our electricity is imported from the Republic of South Africa and the market, and those resources used to produce electricity involve natural resources such as coal and gas in the case of other technologies. And by saving a 1 kilowatt, you are saving a certain amount of energy that will be preserved for future use. Now, it is important at this event, ladies and gentlemen, that we thank all the collaborators for this event. I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the ministry for the support that they have provided over the years, and also our collaborators, and I will name them one by one. We have Mondelez International, the Eswatini Environmental Authority, Eswatini National Trust Commission, Eswatini Water Services Corporation, the University of Eswatini, Eswatini National Housing, popularly known as Lupahla, Malkenstown Board, Matsapa Municipality, Eswatini Meteorological Services, and I see their representative is sitting here next to me, MTN Eswatini, Gulp, and I see their representative is here with us at the podium, Nedbank, and Eswatini Energy Regulatory Authority, Sun Project, which is a sanitary project company, and your host for the event, Eswatini Electricity Company. We cannot forget to thank the board for the Eswatini Electricity Company for allowing us to host this event. Connect to Earth and let's take action. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mkonda. That is Mr. Mkonda Ernest, the GM Support Services for Eswatini Electricity Company. He has just informed us why we're here today. He has detailed the number of partners that we have as an organization, and part of the initiative, the Earth Hour initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, we're pleased to hear that the Eswatini Electricity Company has completed a 10 megawatt solar power plant, as well as a mini grid at Isgcineni that forms part of the initiatives that the company is doing in terms of ecological sustainability. We've also heard that we're going to hear this, we're going to have our 2021 Earth Hour initiative virtually, where you are expected and we are requested to participate. The launch that we're having today is the first step towards your participation in this Earth Hour commemoration. We've also heard how EEC has also partnered in the Patsa Sako Nawe campaign, which we are all well aware of in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, we're inviting you to be part of the Earth Hour commemoration on the 27th of March from 8:30, where we're expecting or requesting you to switch off your non-essential appliances as part of the Earth Hour commemoration. We've heard where we come from in terms of the Earth Hour, where we had some different themes. One of the popular ones that we had in the country is Cisha Lokesi. So we are expecting and requesting you to Cisha Lokesi on the 27th of March. Without further ado, may I call on to the podium the Met Director, who is also going to share a few words for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. to the Principal Secretary of the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy, and all distinguished delegates here represented, including the partners for this event, and the participants that are joining us virtually, and of course those that are in the house. It is a great pleasure to greet you this morning. It is a great opportunity for us to collaborate with the Eswatini Electricity Company in launching and commemorating in the coming days the Earth Hour. For us, this is something that we are very, very pleased to be part of. We were tasked by the government of Eswatini to coordinate climate action, and I am pleased that this year we have as our theme that hashtag Let Us Action. This is in line with what we keep saying all the time, saying climate action now. We are calling for climate action now. Mr. Mkonda already talked about some of the climate events that we have heard that makes, I hope, all of us realize that climate change is something that is here that we have to deal with. I have been tasked to talk about to you today about the status of climate change. This is a very broad topic that there is a lot that I could say, ranging from what is happening with regards to climate action internationally and locally, and also with regards to what is happening with the climate change itself. Talking about climate action, we are all at global level governed currently by the Paris Agreement, which was agreed upon in 2015, and this forms part of the 2015 agreements that were there, which includes the Sendai framework, which looks at disaster risk reduction, and the Sustainable Development Goals. And these three 2015 agreements, coincidentally, are agreements that we indeed need to work on collaboratively if we are going to indeed achieve our goal. Having talked about tropical cyclone Eloise that affected the country this year, it caused a lot of disaster. We saw people losing homes and infrastructure being damaged, including the infrastructure for the very energy that we are also talking about today. And it is important that we implement this, noting that we need to implement all of them. We are not only just vouching for the climate action, but also let us be ready for disasters and take action and develop sustainably. And that is where we will create our resilience. And then at national level, we have what we call our climate action plan, commonly known as the National Development Nationally Determined Contributions. And these started in 2015 when we agreed on the Paris Agreement, and they are supposed to be revised every 5 years. And what we agreed upon at international level is that we cannot regress as countries. As we put in our commitments, we can only upscale, we cannot regress. And so far, 45 countries have updated their nationally determined contributions, and of this, only 9 have submitted stronger commitments, and 10 maintained their ambition, while the other 26 are yet to be analyzed. And then also another 5 have just submitted proposals, which they are yet to finalize, and of this 5, 2 are going towards stronger commitments. As a country, we are also at a point where we are working on our nationally determined contribution, and we are looking at enhancing it. We are being assisted through what is called the Nationally Determined Contributions Partnership, where one of the objectives is to enhance the nationally determined contributions and also fast track implementation. Now, talking about the global commitments to which I have already said that so far of all the countries in the world, 45 have submitted their reviewed NDCs. But we are hoping that by the end of this year, when we go to COP this year, most countries, including our own country, will have submitted. There is a target that we set in 2015. This target was to limit our temperature change to 2 degrees Celsius, and also targeting, if possible, 1.5 degrees Celsius. What we see currently is that so far the ambitions that are being set, they are falling below what we need, where we need to get if we are going to reach this 2 degrees, or even better, the 1.5 degrees Celsius cap. Otherwise, currently the pledges are going towards a 2.3 to 2.6 degrees Celsius change by the year 2100. Now, this might seem like something small, but of course, temperature distribution is not uniform. If we go for a 2.3 degrees or even 2.6 degrees Celsius change, for some countries, you might find that this is a very, very significant change. Or also across the seasons, because there is seasonality, one season might be having a 10-degree change, which is something that we are not looking forward to while there are those variations. And also our economies are also affected by the extremes. Now, just to go to what we had committed that we are currently working on improving, we had committed both for adaptation and mitigation, where adaptation is saying while the climate is changing, how are we going to continue with our development? While mitigation, we are saying how are we going to contribute towards making sure that we reach that 1.5 degree target. Our commitments include developing a national adaptation plan, which we are currently working on, and it also goes into looking at our biodiversity and ecosystem. This is something that is very important for us as a country because our country, one of our targets is to improve our economy through tourism, and our biodiversity and ecosystems play a very critical role in our tourism. And also all the development that we do, if we do not find a balance between the environment, the economy, and human life, that is the social aspects, we are not going to attain sustainable development, and we are going to find ourselves going back. Another commitment that we did was for the water sector. We know that all our activities depend on water, including just us being alive. We cannot survive without water, and we committed to this, and this includes having a water pricing structure, something which I know the Ministry of Natural Resources has already advanced in working on. And then we also talked about strengthening early warning systems, amongst which the water sector is going to be benefiting, and integrating water resource management across all sectors. We cannot leave agriculture, which has been the mainstay of our economy. This we also committed to. I will not go into the details of all that has happened within this sector. That is our sectors. This is our adaptation NDC. But there is a lot of work that we are doing. We are not yet there. We are moving in. We are moving in the right direction. But there is a lot more effort that we need to take. And then within the mitigation NDC, the first thing that we committed to is to strengthen our monitoring and verification system. We found that it would be difficult for us as a country to commit to exact emission targets, how much carbon dioxide we are going to mitigate if we don't have a robust mitigations monitoring system. And this is something that we are working on. Recently we launched a project for that, which we believe is going to take us a long way. And also the energy sector that we are talking about here also has commitments, one of which is ensuring that we double the share of our renewable energy in our energy mix. And this is something that I believe as a country we will still work hard towards ensuring. I see that even though we have other plans for energy generation, but we have not stopped promoting our renewable energy, something that we need to promote if we are going to meet this target. And this also includes, we also have the transport sector, which also touches on the energy sector, because we committed to have to already be implementing the 10% ethanol blend by 2030. And another thing that we committed on, that EEA and the private sector has gone strides in, is substituting ozone depleting substances. Having said that, I did say earlier on that we are working with the NDC partnership, where the objective is to enhance the NDCs and fast-track implementation. That work is currently ongoing, and we intend to have the NDC submitted by June this year, 2021. And while we have not yet finalized which sectors are going to be there, but the sectors that I've already talked about, the commitments that we already have are the starting baseline. We cannot regress. We can only start from there and move forward. We cannot now come and say we had said we're going to double the share of renewable energy by 2030, and then we say, oh, now we will do that by 2050. We can only bring it forward and say maybe we will do it by 2025, as an example. And also we are looking towards adding more sectors if possible, but this is dependent on the stakeholder consultations that we are going to be having as we continue with this work. Now talking about some of the work that is already happening, there is early warning services projects that are going on, which are also where beneficiaries are not only the Department of Meteorology but also the Department of Water Affairs, as we saw that in our commitments we want to have early warning services strengthened for water. And then there is also the RFM renewable energy projects that is there. This is not to name everything, but it's some of those that are there. And this one we believe can be scaled up to other places, whereby we are looking towards having the RFM hospital almost, if not at all, fully utilizing renewable energy. Then we have projects that are looking at biodiversity in terms of working on our protected areas. I've already talked about the monitoring and review and verification and the National Adaptation Plan. Recently, the Minister of Tourism and Environmental Affairs launched a new project that is going to be looking at waste management in the country. This also has a potential for mitigation. We have another project that is coming to an end, but we are looking at how we can scale it up, the climate smart and market-led agriculture project. And we also have a lot more projects that we are currently working on, which including the use of natural refrigerants, watershed management, addressing the health, water and poverty nexus, increasing our tree cover as a country, and looking at food waste reduction, just to name a few. Having talked about this, I haven't gone into much detail talking about what the status of the climate is, but I will say that at a global level, it is true that the temperatures are continuously increasing. This is in line with the global warming theory, which then results in climate change. And also, as a country, we are at a point where we are finalizing our state of the climate report, which we will also launch during the week, where we'll also be commemorating the Earth Hour. Coincidentally, during that week, we have other commemorations, which include the Water Day, the Forestry Day, and the Meteorology Day. And during that time, we will launch the State of the Environment. But just to tell you some of the observations that we are having as we look at the climate for the country, we do realize that if we take decadal averages of the rainfall, we are seeing a decline as we move along, which indeed is telling us that we are being affected and we need to take action, both for adaptation and mitigation. And to do this, we need to all collaborate. As we're doing our NDCs and the climate action, we are also looking for collaboration. And for us, it is quite a great pleasure that the Earth Hour is already one form of collaboration. We see the various partners that are there, including the private sector and also the public enterprises and government. For us, this is something we need to strengthen. We need the private sector on board. We need everybody on board. Everybody is affected. And in collaboration, it means we need to work as a team. We need to inspire each other. We need to support each other. We need to share information. We need to trust each other. And I hope that as we commemorate this Earth Hour, as we take action, we will build that trust and continue the collaboration and take climate action now. Thank you very much. Looking forward to meeting you again.
Thank you very much to the Met Director, Tutu Masina, for her presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, the key thing in relation to Earth Hour is collaboration. If we all collaborate, if we all play our part, then we are going to meet the targets that the Met Director has said. If we all do our part, we are going to meet the SDGs and the agreements that have been signed by Eswatini, as well as the region and global community. We all have a social responsibility to play our part and do what is expected. So Earth Hour, when we say on the 27th of March, please switch off to observe the Earth Hour commemoration, we're basically calling you to play a part. We're saying educate even the young ones to be aware of the environmental issues that have slightly been mentioned by the Met Director. Ladies and gentlemen, we are inviting you to be part of the Earth Hour commemoration on the 27th of March. Today is the launch of the Earth Hour commemoration. We are launching it virtually. COVID-19 has actually accelerated the use of technology. What we're doing today is calling you to play your part from where you are. As part of the working committee for the Earth Hour initiative, we're going to be running online competitions where we're requesting you to participate. There are a lot of prizes to be won. Stay tuned for our social media handles to know more about the competitions that we are going to have. As we speak about collaboration, we do have in our presence GULP, who are part of the partners for the Earth Hour. We are going to call them on stage so that they can also share insights in relation to Earth Hour 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on the stage GULP Sales Manager, Mr. Phumlani Ndwandwe.
Thank you, Program Director. Mapalane lomkhulu etikweni lethu le-energy, natural resources. Babe Mkhonta, GM EEC, all our partners gathered here today. We greet even the viewers at home from wherever they are following us. As GULP Eswatini, we are privileged and honored to again partner with EEC and all the other stakeholders in the 2021 Earth Hour initiative. I-Earth Hour ibaluleke kakhulu etimpilweni tethu sonke, kungaba ngilosekhaya noma ngilosebenzako, ngoba isikhumbuta ngetinto letimqoka letifaya khatsi kona lokuguquguquka kwesimo selitulu. The issue of climate change is real, and I'm inspired by the hashtag let's action, because we cannot just speak about it, but we need to action. As GULP, we preach sustainability, and as such, through the Earth Hour, we're able to reach our customers through our network of service stations all over the country and ensure that we encourage everyone to save energy and to protect the environment. This year, as we've done before, we have partnered with EEC and all the partners, and our contribution this year is very, very important because of two reasons. It touches on rural, two rural schools in fact, and also by extension, it extends to quite a number of students in those schools. Maybe just to briefly say, we have seen the impact of cutting of trees emakhaya ethu sisebenzisa kakhulu tinkhuni ekuphekeni, and we know lokuthi lokuthi nalokuthi replace kuba i-process lenjani, and as such we can all agree that we are losing the battle. We are cutting more than we are planting. We are also encouraged by the environmental sector. We've seen the minister and all the other officials going all over and encouraging us as citizens to plant trees. This is an important exercise, and as such, GULP in Eswatini was the first petroleum company to also diversify into liquid petroleum gas, LPG. Kukhona ke ligama leniladi ngayo, but I will not go into that, because by saying that you are actually saying Colgate aga Aqua Fresh. So we'll just stick to LPG, Gulf LPG. So we introduced this because of the benefits of LPG or gas. It's an instant heat. You don't have to wait for too long before you actually get the heat. It's affordable. You can visit our Gulf stations, but that's not a sales pitch. But it's affordable, and actually when you do the comparison, you will realize that you will reap the benefits. And so back to the contribution that we're making this year, PS, we have identified 2 schools wherein we'll install state-of-the-art LPG installations in the schools, so that they move from using firewood to now using gas. The monetary value of that will be communicated to EEC soon, but that is what we are going to do. And lastly, I want to just encourage all of us at home, wherever we are, to take action, and let's fight climate change. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gulp, for those insights. We actually see that Gulp is already taking action by contributing towards environmental sustainability. We are calling you from wherever you are, from your organization individually. There is a contribution that you can also do. You can actually take action and connect to Earth, which is the theme for the 2021 Earth Hour. We are happy to hear that not only Gulp is participating in such initiatives. Next on stage, I'm going to call the Eswatini Environmental Authority Director Policy, Mr. Gcina Dladla, who is also going to share a bit of insights from that perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kaya. Honourable Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, represented here by the PS today, partners from EEC and all the colleagues here and at home. Maybe PS, before I proceed, let me just wish you and all the women in the house International Women's Day today, and just also probably on behalf of EEA, thank the EEC team for once again facilitating this Earth Hour launch this year. PS Bayebatsi consistency is a sign of greatness. So for having EEC convening us for more than 10 years, I think for us as partners, we are quite happy to be part of this collaboration, and indeed as the Environment Authority, we are also quite excited. When you look at the goals, the SDGs, there's goal 12 and there's goal 13. 13 is about climate change, which I think our meeting here today is directly linked. But I think the people who were putting together these goals knew exactly what they were doing by putting these 2 goals in sequence, because goal 12 talks about the idea of sustainable production and consumption. And the issue of the Earth Hour talks to the core of how society can be driven towards a state of producing and consumption that is in tandem with the planet, that talks to what the planet can afford. When I was reading some of the reports, particularly the UN reports, the figures are showing that in the past 50 years, PS, just the past 50 years, I think, just 5 years before I was born, up to now, we have lost about 60% of all the ecosystems globally. I'm sure even here we can see ourselves. When about 20 years or so, areas like Mhlaleni, Lokoba were not like how they look now. So this talks to how fast the demand we are putting on the planet. In fact, the UN also reports, PS, that the demand for energy, electricity, as we are here about that today, is likely to probably reach 167% in the next 50 years. This may happen in our lifetime, some of us. So unless we then address the issue of sustainable consumption, there's no way EEC, although they've kept the fires on and they've kept the lights on, there's no way we can actually keep up with the demand unless we promote sustainable consumption of energy. Let me just say of resources as a whole. So for us, I think that is very, very important. PS, you might have heard from the team that as part of this Earth Hour 2021, EEC has partnered with us in terms of the campaign. Yeah, Pata Sako Nawe. Pata Sako, the genesis also talks to this issue of sustainable consumption. Once again, when I was born, plastic bags in the shops were not given for free anywhere in the world. But PS, since I've started speaking this morning now, the figures are telling us that every minute, 3 million single-use plastics, and unfortunately these plastic bottles and other related things, 3 million of those things are issued to us globally. So that as well talks to this demand and how some of those behavioral things that we do on a day-to-day basis have a direct impact on climate change, as the Director Met has said. As we speak about Pata Sako and the plastics, the figures are also telling us that when you see the compactor truck, Lealagamanzini, just driving around, we are told that every minute a truckload of waste, particularly single-use plastics, are being dumped into the oceans. And before we even get to that point where these single-use plastics get to the environment, there's a huge implication in terms of greenhouse gas emissions that directly come from particularly the production of single-use plastics, particularly the use of energy. For us as a country, the figures, although they have not yet been consolidated, they are showing us that a month, like in December 2019, more than 5 million single-use plastics were issued to customers in the country. Just 1 month, more than 5 million. Fortunately, this past December, I spoke about 2019, fortunately about 2020, the figures were able to drop to about 50%. So we're able through the campaign to reduce the number of single-use plastics that are issued. You ask yourself, if we issue 5 million single-use plastics, where do they end up? Because you can't go and see 5 million plastic bags outside, but they end somewhere in the environment. I can go on and on, PS, but the point is, as we talk about this sustainable consumption, particularly of all these resources, which are all finite, we really need to say to ourselves, we've seen enough through this Pata Sako campaign to give us confidence that eMaswati really will buy into this sustainable consumption doctrine when it comes to the use of energy. We are quite pleased, PS and the team from EEC, that the government is really working hard on making sure that this renewable mix in terms of our energy is actually becoming significant. And the work at Lavumis and other areas, for us in the Environment Authority and the environment sector as a whole, is really, really exciting. And these are the things we would really want to commend our government in terms of making sure we support. I'm not going to say much, PS, but let me just say, as I end, that the fragility of our systems, our ecosystems, really means that we really need to work hard to collaborate. The recent severe weather events, particularly the cyclone, has seen how our infrastructure is affected, how it is fragile, whether you talk our housing infrastructure, from our colleague from Housing Board, from EEC, some of the areas I go to where we do the Environment Fund work, you'll be surprised how some of the degradation that is going on in the countryside particularly is threatening and affecting the EEC infrastructure. So the fragility of our systems therefore means we really need to take this Earth Hour message very, very seriously, and we are ready to support this PS. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Dladla, for your insights. PSC, we are developing PSC. There is a collaboration amongst the partners. All the speakers that have come forward have actually been indicating Gwagutsi, it's important that we collaborate and work together to meet the sustainability of our ecosystems. I have a colleague, Loga Watsingalengilanga, now that we are virtually learning students, the kids are learning virtually. The child was asking the parent to assist in homework. And as they are conversing with that homework, the child was asking how, but Daddy, didn't you guys learn this thing at school? What were you guys learning during your time at school? Now, what I'm trying to point at is that our kids will ask us in some years to come to say, what were these people doing during their time? What we're doing as partners in the Earth Hour commemoration is to try and preserve our environment, is to try and preserve for future generations, which is why we're saying you need to take action now. Let's take action and work towards sustainability of our ecosystems. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to present to you an official video of Earth Hour 2021 so that you can position yourself to understand globally what is it that we aim to achieve and how you can actually partner in this Earth Hour initiatives. I'll ask our team immediately after the video. We're going to request our partners from Eswatini Housing to actually come through and share their insights as well. Thank you very much for your time. This is the launch of the 2021 Earth Hour commemoration. What is going to follow now is the 2021 Earth Hour video, which we are asking you to take a few minutes to watch. Thank you.
I'm Ewan.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Weeby.
I'm Dimple.
And I'm speaking up for biodiversity, for our forests,
Rivers and ocean.
For healthy soil.
On clean air.
Walking through the shadows, out here in the night. Just need some hope for tomorrow. We will be fine. In the middle of the valley, when you're looking for light, I'm right behind ya, I'm with ya, time after time. I got you through and through. Cover me, I'll cover you. I'm staying by your side.
We can't physically be together shoulder to shoulder, but we are together screen to screen.
When we all unite, we can overcome the most difficult of challenges.
We are in this together.
Estamos en esto juntos.
Và cùng nhau, chúng ta có thể làm được.
This is the time to speak up for nature and show we care.
守护地球，一起更美更好。
Earth Hour has been a moment for millions of people to come together.
Taiwan and Auckland in New Zealand and Sydney in Australia.
首次开启线上互动仪式。
Join me and millions around the world.
与全世界一起关灯支持 Earth Hour.
Earth Hour.
Earth Hour.
I'm switching off for Earth Hour because I think our planet is worth fighting for.
Change starts with us.
And it doesn't matter how small the thing you're doing.
If we can all make small steps in our daily lives, it all adds up to make a big difference.
The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us new ways to work together and support one another. As we emerge from this challenging health, social and economic crisis, it is important that we continue to work together to face the planet's climate and nature crisis.
Together we're strong and never alone.
Let us all put our hearts to the health of nature,
and we must act now.
Common solution. Working together, strongly support
humanity's impact. Now is the time to act.
Join us on the 27th of March at 8:30 p.m. for Earth Hour and Speak Up for Nature.
Connect to Earth. It is our only home and we are all in this together.
Happy Earth Hour.
Happy Earth Hour.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and our viewers who are attending this launch virtually, especially to the PS of the Ministry of Natural Resources. I am from Eswatini Housing Board, and Eswatini Housing Board has joined the Earth Hour movement and has been in partnership with EEC since 2018. It gives EHB pleasure to be part of such a noble and rewarding initiative which contributes to saving our planet while supporting the provision of sustainable human settlements, which is EHB's mandate. For EHB, the Earth Hour movement is about doing right to Mother Nature through climate-sensitive operational risk management and providing products that are resilient and adaptive to climate issues, thereby saving our planet, continent, country, communities, and our livelihoods. Ladies and gentlemen, the commemoration of Earth Hour gives us an opportunity to reflect. Where have we gone wrong? What can we do to do right? Earth Hour is a time to consider our obligation to the environment and bring about the much-needed environmental justice that our planet longs for. In line with this year's theme, Action for Climate and Climate Change to Save Earth, our planet is very tired that it has started to react. The frequency of extreme weather events and natural disasters which we experience are evidence that nature is striking back. For example, you will recall in the period of 2015 to 2016, we suffered an El Nino-induced drought, which threatened our access to water and food security, November 2019 flash floods, and recently Cyclone Alois. By throwing back these climate-related disasters, the Earth is trying to save itself from us and is forcing us to act more responsibly as our very existence is threatened. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've mentioned earlier, EHB is committed to being part of the solution through reducing dependency on non-renewable energy and replacing it with renewable energy such as the solar-powered energy. A case in point, in 2018, EHB was involved in developing a KM3 staff housing estate down at Skupe, whereby we installed a solar-powered borehole, which benefits both the community and their livestock by providing clean water whilst using a clean energy source. This borehole is still operational to date. Another initiative is the establishment of an in-house design office, which works hand in hand with the environmental unit within EHB to produce climate-smart designs. Climate-smart designs are those that will see the optimal use of natural resources in lighting and ventilation rather than getting lighting and ventilation powered by electricity and other non-renewable sources. For 2021 Earth Hour, the EHB will distribute battery-powered lamps and shopping bags in support of the Patasako campaign recently launched by the EEA to a target of 1,000 households within Matapa and Babane. Those are mostly our operational areas. Another initiative is to encourage waste segregation at source for our Matapa estate, which is commonly known as Mobeni, in partnership with the Matapa municipality. This is to encourage waste reduction, reuse, recycling in the communities we work in and saving landfill space. This project will be piloted in Matapa. Then as years go on, it will be implemented in all our operational areas, which is the Mbabane estates and our institutional housing estates. Ladies and gentlemen, we truly believe that with the right attitude, we human beings have the power to build a future in which nature and people can thrive together. As rightly put by the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, I'm Swazi, so at the 2019 Climate Action Summit, open quotes, "It is my obligation, our obligation, to do everything to stop the climate crisis before it stops us." I thank you.
Thank you to our partners, Eswatini Housing, for those insights. We really appreciate that 1,000 households are going to benefit from your initiatives. These are some of the activities that we love to see. You can also play a part in trying to achieve what we want to achieve as a country and as a region in terms of ecological sustainability. Thank you very much, Eswatini Housing, for those kind words. We need to stop climate crisis before it stops us, and you can do it. You can take action. Let us take action. That is what the hashtag for our Earth Hour 2021 says. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, may I call on stage our next presenter, who will be the EEC Acting Managing Director, Mr. Vusigama. Immediately after Mr. Vusigama, I'll request the Acting MD to actually introduce our honorable guest, the Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Energy. Thank you very much for your time.
Honorable Minister, represented by the PS, Managing Directors, representatives sitting here, representatives from our various partners, media houses, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Before I go into my speech, which speech is for the MT, I'm reminded by Gina here that today is International Women's Day. On behalf of EEC, we would like to appreciate all the women in Swaziland, including our colleagues at EEC, and they wish they put more effort towards driving things to happen. I'm actually proud to actually state that the person behind this at EEC is none other than our Dr. Constance van Zedem. Please put more effort and demonstrate that women can actually make things happen. Maybe at this juncture, I'll then go on to the speech by the MD. I would like to honor and thank all business and citizens present in this Earth Hour 2021 virtual launch. Our company appreciates your commitment towards environmental protection demonstrated over the past years and even amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm actually reminded of the time when we started this Earth Hour PS. It used to be a very small event, but of late it has turned to be more like a bushfire. In fact, we were hoping to overtake bushfire. Had it not been this COVID, we were sure that we would have put up a very big event, which initiative is an important event to make sure that we respond positively to the environment. The whole world is facing climate change crisis, and in the recent months, the country's extensive rains and floods, which has disrupted essential infrastructure, affected the economy and human lives. Climate change affects all sectors: health, agriculture, peace, and the economy. Therefore, as a country, we need to be proactive and come up with preventive and mitigation strategies, adaptation measures for climate change, and develop disaster management strategies and emergency preparedness plans. The above efforts are urgent, and if we do not act urgently and decisively, we risk escalating costs and climate disasters. I'm actually reminded of what Kaya has recently said here. He actually stated that if we don't do anything now to address the issues of climate change, our children are going to ask us, what were these people doing? So as leadership, we definitely need to make our efforts and demonstrate that at least we've tried something, and it will be up to them how they actually take the rest. We implore the nation to collaborate with us in the fight against climate change. Climate change issues should be at the center of our strategies and policies. As an organization, we have developed a climate change policy and a demand-side management strategy. The Earth Hour is one of them. The 10 megawatt solar plant in Lavumisa has been completed, and we anticipate to construct more renewable energy plants to reduce the carbon footprint from the organization and the country at large. This year, we decided to take a holistic approach in addressing climate change. We're actually looking at issues that affect water, energy, and the environment shall be addressed. We note the increasing participation of the nation in the Earth Hour initiatives over the year. Since we started 9 years ago, let us spread the gospel and have more Eswatini taking action against climate change. Finally, I would like to appreciate our partners, Honorable PS, Eswatini National Housing Board, GALP, Malkens Town Board, Eswatini Energy Regulatory Authority, Mondelez International, Ministry of Tourism, Environmental Affairs, Eswatini Environmental Authority, Meteorological Department and Forestry, and of course our own ministry, the Ministry of Natural Resources, which is actually doing a good job in supporting this initiative. Year on year, we do see them taking the lead in guiding us towards making sure that we celebrate this event. Eswatini National Trust Commission the Renewable Energy Association of Eswatini, where Constance is also the chairman of the board. I'm also a member. We're looking forward PS to involve maybe some of the stakeholders here so that we collaborate to make sure that the Renewable Energy Association of Swaziland is sustainable in the country. Matsapa Town Council. May I lastly invite all of us, Mendi Emaswati, to join the rest of the world on the 27th of March, and let's observe the Earth Hour from 8:30 to 9:30 by switching off essential lights and appliances, and hopefully we achieve better than we achieved last year. Ernest has actually stipulated what we achieved in the previous year. So hashtag connect to Earth and let us action. That's the end of my speech on behalf of the MD. Maybe at this point in time, I would like to invite you, PS, to maybe make the speech on behalf of the Honorable Minister. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Acting MD. Thank you, Program Director. Happy Women's Day to all women out there. And thank you, Baba Zlata, for remembering us. We had forgotten. I would also want to say that, yes, Happy Women's Day, but they are not alone. Behind them, they are the men. Thank you so much for your support. Maswati Lamahle, esteemed businesses, Earth Hour partners, ladies and gentlemen, Siyanvusela Begnen. Earth Hour is a wonderful effort taken across the world to save energy and the environment globally. The standard Earth Hour logo is 60, that represents 60 minutes of Earth Hour to minimizing the consumption of energy. The new logo of Earth Hour is 60 plus. That represents the commitment from every single hand beyond the hour. The Earth Hour event was started in 2007 in Australia as a light-off event. Now, with its growing popularity, it has become a worldwide event. Locally, the Earth Hour event has been spearheaded by Eswatini Electricity Company for the past 10 years. And as a ministry, we applaud the company and its partners for such efforts towards climate change mitigation. Thank you so much, EEC, for the good work that you are doing. This year, the excitement has been disturbed due to the COVID-19 global impacts, which is a heart-touching phenomenon that has claimed a lot of lives. Ladies and gentlemen, amidst this current global circumstance, we invite all of you to raise awareness and create the same unmissable sight virtually, so that the world sees our planet, the issues we face, and our place within it in a new light. Scientific evidence points towards that there is a close link between nature's destruction and the rising incidences of infectious disease outbreak like COVID-19. Earth Hour 2021 seeks to unite people online to speak up for nature. We have heard our speakers before explaining to us that what is happening to nature. The occurrence of several catastrophic incidents last year, including extreme weather events, devastating wildfires, and the COVID-19 outbreak, highlighted that preventing nature loss is crucial for safeguarding our future. As the country tries to turn the tide and recover from the ravages of the COVID-19 pandemic and rebuild itself, I encourage businesses to put nature at the center of their recovery effort to future-proof the economy and the society at large. Earth Hour is also a critical moment for individuals, leaders, and all stakeholders to unite and call for urgent action to reverse nature's loss and become sustainable country by 2030. The Earth Hour has inspired the protection of nature, climate change, and the environment by helping drive awareness, action, and policy change. The non-plastic campaign under the theme Phatha Sakho Nawe is an effort to combat the single use of plastics. This campaign aims at reducing the production of waste, which has serious environmental impacts. Go Phatha Sakho Nawe. One thing I noted, our roads are more cleaner now. For the past 3 months, there is a great improvement. Yesterday, it was so bad that our country was so dirty. I was lucky to go to Botswana, late 2019. The country is very clean. What I discovered, they buy their plastics. Now we are seeing the change. Our roads are cleaner now. Let's keep it up. To advance on low carbon transmission, the country embraces a full energy mix, and as such, the country has completed a 10 megawatt solar PV power plant to go into commercial operations soon. Additionally, the country is procuring 40 megawatts of solar PV and 40 megawatts of biomass to reduce dependency on imported electricity. The ongoing national tree planting campaign cannot be overemphasized as part of the Earth Hour initiative. The ministry is encouraged by the number of opportunities for businesses available to manage climate change. Companies are applauded for investing in renewable energy application in order to meet their energy needs. Therefore, everyone is encouraged to adopt sustainable practices, change the way they live and think. Be responsible consumers, adapt and mitigate climate change effects, and reduce climate change impacts as much as they can. These remarks, I declare the Earth Hour initiative launch. The theme, climate change to serve the Earth. Let's save the Earth. This is the only home that we have so far. Join us again this Earth Hour on the 27th of March 2021 and switch off non-essential lights and appliances in commemorating this global initiative. Your action in protecting the environment should also go beyond the Earth Hour and should be in the way you live your life. Thank you. Siyabonga.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, through UPS, for your insights with regards to the Earth Hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the Earth Hour has been officially launched. We are inviting you to be part of us on the 27th of March from 8:30 to 9:30, where we're expecting and requesting you to switch off non-essential lightings or non-essential lights as part of the observation for Earth Hour. Of interest from the minister's speech is that we've been requested to practice a value-based leadership by putting nature first or as a priority in our activities. We are also realizing the results of local initiatives, amongst which is the Phatha Sakho Nawe campaign, which we've heard that we are starting to see the results. We're seeing a lot of introduction of other renewable energy mixes, especially in terms of power, where the ministry is also looking at a 40 megawatts solar PV project, which will see a reduction in the effects of climate change. The tree planting campaign is ongoing in the country, and you are also encouraged to be part of that. The opportunities are actually there for you to practice sustainability initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. PS on behalf of the Honorable Minister. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our partners who have joined us in this initiative. Thank you very much for coming through. We are hoping that as we continue to speed up or to scale up the energy towards Earth Hour, you will be part of us. You as a viewer at home, you are encouraged to be part of the Earth Hour initiative. Watch out our social handles, because we'll be bringing in more competitions and some prizes that you stand to win by participating in the Earth Hour initiatives. We'd like to hear your story. Post on our Facebook page and tell us how you, or what is it that you'll be doing in terms of Earth Hour. The working committee, PS, for your appreciation, has actually engaged other social influencers that are going to tell us to share stories with us in relation to Earth Hour. Earth Hour being virtual, we are trying to say, let us use the social media space to interact and share our stories in relation to the issues that we have learned. If it wasn't for social media, some of the initiatives that we have highlighted will not be easy for the next person to understand. We know we're targeting the youth, which is why we're going on social media. We're hoping that we'll have a much more a bigger reach in terms of hosting a live function. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the Earth Hour virtual launch. We're looking forward to seeing you again, sharing your stories, and also switching off non-essential lights from 8:30 on the 27th of March. Please do have a lovely evening, and once again, Happy Women's Day to all the ladies in the country. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Felicity.
I'm Ewan.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Weeby.
I'm Dimpo.
And I'm speaking up for biodiversity.
For our forests,
rivers, and ocean.
For healthy soil.
On clean air.
Walking through the shadows, out here in the night. Just need some hope for tomorrow. We will be fine. In the middle of the valley, when you're looking for light, I'm right behind ya, I'm with ya, time after time. I got you through and through. Cover me, I'll cover you. I'm staying by your side.
We can't physically be together shoulder to shoulder, but we are together screen to screen.
When we all unite, we can overcome the most difficult of challenges.
We are in this together.
Estamos en esto juntos.
Và cùng nhau chúng ta có thể làm được.
This is the time to speak up for nature and show we care.
守护地球，一起更美更好。
Earth Hour has been a moment for millions of people to come together.
Taiwan and Auckland in New Zealand und Sydney in Australia.
首次开启线上互动仪式。
Join me and millions around the world.
与全世界一起关灯支持 Earth Hour.
Earth Hour.
Earth Hour.
I'm switching off for Earth Hour because I think our planet is worth fighting for.
Change starts with us.
And it doesn't matter how small the thing you're doing.
If we can all make small steps in our daily lives, it all adds up to make a big difference.
The COVID-19 pandemic has taught us new ways to work together and support one another. As we emerge from this challenging health, social and economic crisis, it is important that we continue to work together to face the planet's climate and nature crisis.
Together in this, together we're strong and never alone.